people really are running buck wild. So I think sometimes they need a reminder, like, run up if you want to, but just know, if you're running, I'm also a track star.
Monét Talks. Everybody come sit down, let's have a chat. Monét Talks. Living life gossip, chop it up, this or that. Monét Talks. Get comfortable, cause you on the show. We just wanna know where you been, who you been with. Monét Talks.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I am graced with the elegance, the beauty, the fabulosity of the one and only Kerri Colby. How you doing, Ziva?
Hello. After that, I'm feeling very demure. I feel like this trim might be over when it comes out, but I am feeling very mindful.
Also, first of all, you could probably confirm this. The fragrances that are coming off of you, girl, you are...
Is it radiating?
Oh, girl, we are like transported to another dimension. You smell divine. What,
Thank you.
Can you tell us what you wear? Is it a secret? You don't give your fragrances?
So it's only usually a secret because it's such a disaster. I am so like just neurodivergent, Baddie and STEM. That like
Baddie and STEM.
Baddie and STEM, yes. You know, science, technology, engineering, and meth. No, I'm just kidding. But when I go to like put a fragrance, I'll like pick one and be like, this is the one. And then somehow between then and when I leave, I do that same process like 10 times. Yes, but I think today we're mixing Princess by Killian.
Okay.
Or Bella, the green like kind of like foresty one. It's Bella Hadid's new like oil natural fragrance line. And then a little dash of MFK Mason Francis Satin Mood.
Okay, you are saying like, bitch, you want to work. Like, it sounds very expensive. You smell like money.
It's a lie. It sounds like a lie.
Kerri, I cannot believe that we have never done a gig together. How?
Wait.
We have not really.
I feel like we've bumped into each other, but it wasn't gigs. It was more just like, you know, charity function.
Yeah, like an in-passing thing. Like, I cannot believe that because Bob and I have talked about this before. You're one of like my favorite girls because you just the energy and like because also like you know I exist and I know you a lot parasocially because I follow your content. I obsess with your content, but you just radiate good vibes and like queen shit. Like you know and like the new batch of girls like you know what I mean like you. I love Morphine. I love fucking Mistresses of the Works. Like y'all just have like girls. I'm like I could chill and fuck with them. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I feel like I love that you said kind of like the new batch because I feel like post-COVID and pre-COVID or post-epidemic, whatever you want to call it, there is like a little bit of a difference. I feel like it's the girls that grew up watching the girls, the Titans, the Drag Race legends before and after they were on. And then the OGs are like, they're like, girl, we've been doing this. We don't need to learn shit.
But
sit down and learn.
But you also though, like again, you're part of like craft. You're really good at crafting like your own thing. Like you're not trying to fit into what like you think I should be doing as a Ruger. You're like, this is what I do, and I'm making my thing. Like you know the thing. You know, which I think is really dope.
Thank you for picking up on that, baby. Yeah. Picking up what I put down.
Well, that's the thing. Like, girl, there are like 400 of us now. Like, you gotta like do your own thing that makes you unique. You know what I mean?
If you don't have a signature, it's a really quick show and tell,
girl. And you're proving that you got staying power in this motherfucking industry.
Ooh, I received it. Thank you. Forever.
Wait, did you grow up religious?
I grew up Pentecostal.
Pentecostal, that's what it was. Yeah,
that's what it is. That's that crazy.
I did too. I grew up in the church, girl. Baby. I used to be up in church shouting, speaking in tongues, literally making it up because I thought that was a thing to do. Terrible.
You know, you just kind of go as you flow. Like everyone else is doing something crazy. You're like, okay, I could do that too.
Literally.
I could do it.
To fit in and up in the church, girl.
Yes.
Girl, be up in there prostrate. No, what the hell I was doing anyway.
Oh, gosh.
You know? So back in Texas, yeah?
Yes, from Dallas. Oh, my God.
Dallas.
She's a Dallas diva.
I went to Dallas on a choir trip. a church choir trip, and we were in Fort Worth. We had went to T.D. Jakes' church,
period,
which was wild.
It's like bigger than a lot of like Super Bowl.
It's like
stadiums.
its own city. It felt like it was insane.
You can get lost for sure.
Yeah, in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and but that's really I never even performed in Dallas like post Drag Race.
Really?
No, Asia never invited me to the Rose Room.
Oh, well. I don't really think she's there anymore either.
Yeah, she's only in Vegas now.
Yeah, she's the Vegas diva.
She's the Vegas girl.
Yes.
And then, so you started drag in Texas?
Kind of. I feel like it's not fair for me to say I started drag in Texas. I started kind of cross-dressing. I started exploring.
What does that look like?
I remember, oh my gosh, I remember like my first time wanting to be I didn't have a whole lot of money, but the little bit of money I had, I would always save. And I got like I always have been a human hair girly.
Mm-hmm.
I got
really? Even back then?
Yes, because I knew. I was always so obsessed with realness. Like I got myself a little BCBG.
Max cereal.
Max or something, honey. Max or Mosel. And I remember I had been like, ooh, that's like very woman, very beautiful, very, demure.
Very demure, very sensual, very mindful.
Baby, I think I wore that dress like all 10 times I went out with a little wig on and some makeup in Texas.
Work. And then you told me before we started rolling about, y'all, silicone hip pads. Let me tell you something. Padding the foam was already hot and it's too much. Kerri is wearing heavy silicone pads. That is insane behavior to me.
Again, like, I feel like now looking back, because I used to ask myself, like, why do I do this? And now I'm like, okay, now I think I got it. Like, it was really just me needing to truly feel the realness. Like, I need to feel the pounds of my future transition added. Like, I need it. But yeah, girl, what y'all know about Dress Tech, honey?
Wait, what's Dress Tech?
That's the brand that makes the silicone hip pads. Yeah, they're like, the cross-dresser, like, heaven.
So when somebody touched you, it's like, it's giving realness.
Baby,
and it was making that sound.
Yes, it did. But sometimes I feel like with the layers of pads, and if I didn't have like everything like put properly, and you get a little hot, it would start sliding. I
am screaming. So not your hips on your ankles.
Yeah, well, my hips would like start real, tooth. I was given absolute orthodontist realness. And then by the end, it was like, childbearing, just mother, at the ripe age of like 22. Yes.
So you're in Texas. You didn't really do drag. You were just like, you started to play in the thing.
Yeah.
And then this one you moved from Texas. How did you get from Texas to LA? Well, I know stuff. You had left home.
Yes. Well, I was put out of my house.
And then you were like,
So I went straight from there. I was 15. So I was like, what do I do?
That is wild. At 15 years old?
But girl, when I think back, I was like, oh, well, hold on. It kind of makes sense. Like, honestly, if my kid did some of the things I was doing, because I was desperate for the truth. I was desperate to feel. Mm-hmm. But like, girl, I was on Grindr at like 13, 14. Like,
oh, girl.
Fully, yeah.
I'm from New York City. People who listen to Cinema and the things, I was fully hooking up. I was 13 years old, hooking up with like 34-year-olds.
Baby, the daddy issues are real.
The daddy issues are very real. And like, I look back and like, I was like, I cannot believe that I was hooking up at that age with these grown-ass dudes.
Well, I can't believe that these grown-ass dudes were so into it, but
That's the tea. That part, though.
That is the world we live in. Okay, period.
So all that stuff happened and your family was like, this is too much, you gotta go.
Yeah, there was just so much. Ultimately, and I kind of speak about this a lot, like there is such a thing as like with your given family, like your biological, where y'all are just not compatible people. I think they didn't have their own stuff worked out. They ended up getting divorced and everything. So I think they had a lot to work through, still do. Yeah. And for me, I was just like, this is not it. So I was put out at 15 and went straight to Oaklawn.
What's Oaklawn?
That's like the gayborhood. So that's like the West Hollywood of Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna do my big one.
Yeah.
And I started putting on wigs.
And put on yeah. And like, so like, girl, like, did you like find a family? Like where was you at?
Oh my gosh. So it's kind of funny because a lot of people ask me like what my ethnicity is or like why I seem so multicultural. Yeah.
Yeah, you get very racially ambiguous.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, which I would assume is also a very good thing to be a model. Because
you cast me, I can play
any role, girl.
Any role. I can play whatever role makes me some money. Okay, that's my favorite role to be casted as. The role that makes you some money. But when I was put out, I lived with just honestly like random Samaritans, which I'm like so glad that they exist in the world. But I lived with like this Salvadorian guy for a bit. He like apparently was like following me on social media and like saw me at a bus stop with all my things. Like I had those vacuum seal bags.
Yeah.
I had like 4 of them and all my stuff was there. And he like saw me and I was like, ooh, don't look at me like that. I do not want to be perceived right now. I'm just trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And he like, maybe this is how I know I was meant to be famous. Because he like recognized me for what I was doing back then, which was being a fool.
Yeah.
And he's like, I follow you on Instagram. Like, I think you're really cool. Like, and I was like, oh, you and all my 200 other followers. Good to meet you. And he was like, so like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? And you know that there's some of those moments where you can either really try to give a fantasy and be like, oh, I'm just going on like a camping trip.
Mm-hmm. But you were like, I'm gonna keep it real.
I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know what else to do. And I've always been someone that like, when in doubt, just be brutally honest because at least someone knows where you are.
Yeah.
They may not be able to help. They may not want to, but they'll know where you are. So I was like, look, I got kicked out. These are my things. I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. And he fully was like, well, maybe I can help. And he like really was so pivotal, like helping me like finish with my school, getting like into my like jobs and things like that, and just giving me like a really good like foundation to not be a crackhead on the streets.
Girl, literally like that's some like guardian angel shit. Like someone like comes out like that to help you out in that situation.
Fully. I am always very, very thankful. Shout out to Manuel. You are a real one.
Manuel, thank you for taking care of our girl. And
we give it up to you.
Making sure that she's here today.
Baby.
Giving us all the content, the glamour, the gorgeousness. Thank you, Manuel. I appreciate you, darling.
My thing is, I wonder if he always knew I was going to end up like this.
Probably.
I feel like some people just really aren't. The Texas girls specifically, LA, they kind of got shocked when I transitioned because I tried so hard to give trade. But anyone who knows me from Dallas, they're like, oh, yeah.
Well, I saw your previous. Yeah. I mean, you've always been a stunning human being in every iteration. You posted your pre-transition pictures. I was like, yep, Kerri Colby has always been a dime, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning. But in Texas, they had new.
Well, that was so early that I didn't really know what to or how to identify. I was non-binary on accident.
Got it.
Girl, I was like the same height, but like 100 and like, it was giving scary. I kind of wish I had that body now a little bit. Like I saw a few of my old pictures. I was like, wait a minute. Like the waist is really gone, but like, so was everything else. But I was like 112, 115 pounds. And it was just... You know, I was so tiny, so feminine, and I would think I was being so masculine, be like, hey, how are you? Like, it's nice to meet you. Like, yeah, I'm really into my, like, you know, I'm a top. Yeah, like, you want me to top you? I'm like so butch. And so I think anyone who met or experienced or knew me from there, they're like, oh yeah, she might be a top, but there's TS in front of it.
TS.
There's a few letters missing, girl.
So when you have moved to LA,
yes,
was the goal to be a model or to do drag?
The goal was to get the out of Texas.
To get out, okay.
Yeah, but also I feel like you'll relate to this. Like sometimes you just feel called somewhere. Like I didn't know what, because I moved here at 18. A daddy had hit me up on the app. I am an app girl. Let me tell y'all, the apps have been working for me because people have always been like uncomfortable to talk to me in person. I don't know why, but like I guess I'm like intimidating or something. I probably always have like resting bitch face.
Well, I think you also exude like you don't give meek or you give like you're in your power, and I think that's threatening to people. When people like feel that energy, they feel like they need to straighten up. Like, well, I gotta come correct. You know what I mean? So it's probably that energy people feel.
I feel like I'm having an epiphany. Like to me, I was always like, maybe it's old soul energy because I feel like I've been on this earth so many times. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, it's the last one. Get me out. I'm doing it big. I'm getting the karma right. I'm setting it up. People can be authentic. And then I'm done. But I always was very kind of old soul acting when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just felt called to be in LA.
In LA, okay.
I was like, let me go and let me like talk to these daddies. And one man was like, I would really like to fly you out and like have you come visit LA.
Flew out.
And I was like, well, yes.
Word.
Back when Virgin Airlines was like the thing.
Bitch.
Yeah,
Virgin. He flew you Virgin?
Baby, pre-Delta, okay.
She was flown Virgin.
I was flown
You hoes
Virgin.
could never
I
be
was
flown
half
Virgin,
a virgin
honey.
when I met him.
Now, is this when you started the escorting thing?
Yes. I mean, listen, I'm not shy about the truth. I have always been someone, when you feel like your entire future is ripped away from you, money's money.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make it.
Absolutely.
If you got it, I got a place you can go to.
100%.
100%. So my thing was like, I've never been like a turning tricks, like my hourly rate is this.
Got it.
My thing is, I want like a year out of you.
Got it.
I want a good year. I want expenses. I want accounts. I want a life plan that you invest in.
Word.
So I don't think he signed up for that, but I made him. He got a little more than he bargained for. But so did I. I got to learn so much. And I feel like there's no better way that I could have been introduced into LA than living with him right over in West Hollywood, watching Game of Thrones. Season 3, season 4.
And like, okay, just set me up for this. Like, this is like a nice, lavish-ass condo, a house.
Well, it started that way. And then he ended up downsizing.
Damn.
The economy was real.
Damn.
It was 2015. Was the economy bad in 2015?
The recession was 2008. And so 2015, I think, Trump was about to be elected, so things were about to get dicey.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
They were wondering what was going to happen because it was like the 7th year of Obama. And we're like, where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? Yeah.
To hell. That's where we went. I hope y'all learned something. I really hope y'all got that out your system.
Yeah. So he downsized. You're like, damn, girl, we should be, I want the mansion.
It started cute. It started like valet, condo, like right on Sunset. And I was like, well, yes. And then we went to like, very humble 1-bedroom that we were sharing. And, it was like a 70s, 60s remodel. But then he did put the little bit of like money he had been saving like into like renovating the tile and stuff. So I learned about like proper early. I learned the old gay way very, very early. I got introduced to Divine. Actually a lot of really good shit came from that.
Work.
Yeah.
The epiphany.
I know. Like, let me go back and think a minute.
Yeah, I mean, the closest I got to, like, when I, like, first started, like, doing the whole drag thing, like, I would, like, go on Craigslist and, like, hook up with dudes on Craigslist, like, full...
Craigslist used to be giving, though.
Yes, yeah.
They don't know about that.
Oh, I would go to M4T, and I would post my little, or T4M, sorry, and I post my little in-drag, like, fantasy, and get the dudes. And one dude I used to hook up with in Kew Gardens in Queens, we hooked up regularly, and this is when, like, bitch, I would show to this place in Geesh, and then I would like, but he wanted me to sleep over. Now he would.
Now, was he spooked about the tea, or did he just?
No, he knew. He knew. Like I think he thought I was. I think he thought I was a trans woman, but I was just a cross-dresser. You know what I mean? Like,
well, sometimes nowadays you really can't tell.
I know, and I think back then I was giving,
baby.
So when he wanted me to stay over, I was like, okay. And bitch, I remember waking up one morning, the beard had grown back in, and the makeup is all over the
over the pillow.
And then I go in the bathroom. I was like, I look ridiculous. So I like gathered my shit and I left. But I was like, and he'll give me like $50 here or like $100 here. It lasted for about 6 months.
Something. I feel like low key he did that because he wanted to see the like transformation. Let's talk about it because, you know, straight men have a lot of fetishes. Uh-huh. And I really do feel like there is a fetish, or I'm assuming he was straight.
He was straight, yeah,
okay,
for sure.
Period. I feel like a lot of straight men, they love to watch things kind of fall apart when they start beautiful.
You think so?
Yes. They'll be like, you know, stay like 2 days. But like, you know, don't bring no makeup with you. Just come on me, but also come as you are. come the way that you want, come correct. But like, you know, 2 days. just I don't know.
Oh my God.
I could put a few movies on. We could order in. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, there is no reality but watching. It's like watching something decompose.
Honestly, it really is. It really is.
Too. I've been
really
there.
is.
Oh my God, last week. I'm just kidding.
Girl, you never. Kerri, we have to talk about, because in this next thing, I am very close to you in this. Not very close, but I've been here. You are the conspiracy theory queen. You have these conspiracy theories. And the closest I got to was Zeitgeist. I saw the movie Zeitgeist. Have you ever seen Zeitgeist?
I've heard of Zeitgeist, but I think in different contexts.
Yeah, it talks about like how it was this like thing that came out like early, like in like 2008 or something like that. Talk about how like 9/11 was like a scam and how like the whole thing about religion, like it talks about these things. I remember watching that like, yo, they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes. These motherfuckers are really out to get us.
You got a blue pill.
I got a blue pill.
You got a blue pill experience.
And then sometimes I like fall into these like crazy like YouTube holes of watching these things, and I'm like,
baby.
And so I get it, but girl, so Kerri, Hollow Earth.
Listen, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Okay. You know, I look for the penis in it. And here's my thing.
You have such beautiful teeth, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh my God. Hello. I'm a conspiracy theorist. My thing is, number one, question everything.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Agreed.
I'm not, and I never claim to be 100% correct. My whole thing is I've never been there, but I'm also not about to believe somebody that has a $1 billion company backing them like National Geographic. Like, this is all the facts you need to know.
Yeah.
Because they also want us to believe, you know, all the other things white people teach us in public schools. So, you know,
Fair point.
You know, the more you start to just sit and observe, you start to realize everything you're taught doesn't necessarily always check out. And then if you wait 20 years, the whole thing you got taught, like, oh, we just didn't have the data at the moment. But upon further research, we've come to realize, you know, there's a quantum realm.
Well, I do think that you bring up a good point, right? Like all this shit that we were taught in school about the history of the world.
Oh my God.
Now in like the past 2 years, we're realizing like,
you're like, huh?
Bitch, you were lying to us. Like that was not true. You were lying to us. So I do think there is some validity there into questioning everything and not just believing everything. But when it comes to like things that seem so not abstract, but seem so far away, like, like how will we ever be able to go out in space and verify everything? Like in my lifetime, like maybe I will. I don't think we'll ever in my lifetime be go like travel in space. And like I mean, I've seen the videos of how they saying like, oh, how going to the moon was like it was a set, and I'm like, I'm not saying that's true. I don't believe that's true, but I'm like,
but they made a movie about it recently.
In the back of my head, I'm like, what if it's true? You know what I mean? I don't know. So things like that.
I'm gonna go with Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum on that one.
Wait, what movie?
It like just came out like a few months, like maybe like a month ago, where they talk about the whole scandal of faking the moon landing because there was this woman who was like a math wizard, and she was like, it's physically at this moment impossible to guarantee like no casualties. But what we can do is we can launch into space. And then what we also can do, because it's Hollywood, we can film it theoretically. And we can get the content to show people and keep working on this so we can eventually launch into space and have less casualties. And then like...
And Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum, they're in this movie?
Yeah. Wow. They're like the main... I think Channing Tatum's playing like... Is it Armstrong? Lance?
Louis Armstrong.
Louis
Armstrong.
Lance is the
cyclist.
The scammer.
He's a scammer too?
Fraudulent.
The live strong dude? The little yellow bracelet?
Girl, he does live strong. He was living strong and pumping some testosterone.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that.
Which, I mean, I don't blame him. You know, once upon a time I did that too. You know? And I figured out that it was not for me.
Yeah. Well, speaking of testosterone, girl, and things, bitch, you are the Tranos of the world.
Ooh,
You have captured all the girls. Ooh. Like, tell me how you came up with Tranos.
You know, it just comes down to looking at someone in the eyes and saying, you know, are you ready? How are you feeling? The real you. And, you know, I don't know. I think for me, I give my props to, like, I was really raised and I really soaked up the knowledge. I look at so many of our trans icons as true just goddesses. Like they are meant, you are meant, the muses, like you're meant to just receive what they give you. So I grew up pretty old school, especially for being like more of a new age girly in a lot of ways. And I always just saw how they lived. I saw what the meaning of being trans meant for them in a time where like it was not trendy, it was not cute. You really didn't want to get caught up in it if you could avoid it. And I think I just started to like have a very ferocious sense of awareness. And for me to have rationalized my transition and coming to terms with it, I just, when I see girls, because as a trans woman, I don't know exactly the science here. This is the one conspiracy I probably should get into, but I don't know where that like trans gene or that trans trait or that trans, you know, seed really comes from. But like I had it, and I just feel like the girls that have it can see it in other people. And I, you know, there's a little bit of a joke out there that like I push everyone, but my thing is if I see it in someone genuinely, I will usually like just, you know, bring them aside when we have a little moment, and I'll be like, you know, like what's going on? How do we identify? It's giving woman. I live, but like, is this it? I ask the questions that I think a lot of people like run away from. And then when I ask it, they start like being like oh, damn. Like, do you see yourself growing old as a man or what's it giving? And like that one I think tends to break people because like, I guess no one really thinks they're going to live past 30. Honestly, girl, I'm gagged. I'm here. I am not 30 yet, but I'm gagged. I'm here at 28. But like, I guess a lot of people like don't really, I'm a forecaster. You know, I'm always thinking about past, present, future, long future, and how I can be comfortable, fulfilled, and happy in all of those. Like, what am I doing now that's going to honor my 70-year-old self, but also honors my 17-year-old self? Because I'm in between, you know, and it's a journey. And so I feel like I just ask people questions that I kind of wish I was comfortable being asked or asked myself sooner. And it gets them, girl. I don't know. I just feel like another one. Thank you. I didn't even mean for you to go do that. I want to talk back to something you just said because I remember when you posted like in regards to you having this like old soul and you feel like you come from a different thing. Like I remember when you posted the video about the bathroom thing, and everyone was like getting ready to like pounce on you and like say this thing, ready. But the way that you talked about the nuances in that, it was it was a way that I had never thought about the bathroom situation. But I mean, I think instinctually I'm like, let people use it. Bathroom they want to. Every bathroom. Yeah, and like that's and you are saying that, but you're talking about the nuances in that I think a lot of us have not considered. And I thought it was a very poignant way to talk about it. My thing is, I feel like everything needs balance. I don't believe in right or wrong because I think in that notion already you're off balance. Why are you so focused on if something's right or if something's wrong? We're thinking about what is going to be, statistically speaking, outside of yourself best for you. To be healthy, to be happy, to be a contributing member of society. So if that's our goal, how can we move the most aligned with that? And I think a lot of trans women that I'm seeing today are so happy to feel euphoric and they're so happy to start a journey that they're not thinking about sometimes the entirety of the journey or the work and the dedication it takes to the journey, and really, you know, being mindful, being demure. It's, you know, you can go wherever you want to go, but is going there going to create a chain reaction and consequences that affect you negatively and ultimately everything you represent negatively? And is that worth it? Is it? I mean, for me, myself, it was not worth it because my focus was let me cultivate, let me learn, let me go back through this journey, this metamorphosis of sorts. And we see people like T.S. Madison like share a similar view to that and like and talked about that stuff. And I think, you know, I mean, because I'm not a trans woman, I don't have that experience. Like I'm not thinking. I just see a thing. I'm like, let them use the bathroom, no matter what. And so I think listening to people like you and Maddie and like hearing like what
like it just opened my eyes a little bit more to help to the experience.
I also just feel like we're living in the past too. And I think that's a big thing. Like certain lifestyles and certain people's existence is very contradictory to a very past, old school, outdated way of doing things.
Yeah.
And like low-key, I don't even like the gender bathrooms. I'd be down for genderless. Everyone just goes to the bathroom and the fucking stalls, can we cuss?
Yes.
Okay, the stalls are floor to ceiling. I don't
Honestly,
care.
why?
Because
that's how it is in Europe.
Because people are nasty.
Girl, that's how it is in Europe. The store, they're from the ceiling to the floor.
I don't even want to see your toes. Okay?
Like, why do I have to walk to the bathroom and see your underwear at your ankles? Like, I don't want to see that.
You know, and women women that don't support the journey of bathroom integration.
Turfs, we talking to y'all.
Oh, baby. Okay, listen here, J.K. Rowling. Let me tell you something. And this is no joke.
Avada Kedavra, bitch.
Okay. Kill it. But like, you know, there's a lot of people who they're like, well, what if I have my child and they crawl under the stall? Do you not hear the problem in that sentence? Why is your child crawling under stalls to begin with?
Like, them nasty ass stalls, too.
Nasty ass stalls. Ugh. Why is your baby on their hands and knees running around saying hi to... the bathroom is not a meet and greet. Whether you got a or... it really is not the place. So my thing is like, we're beating around bushes that I'm like, instead of thinking about, oh, maybe someone will experience and see a genital in the restroom. Yeah, you're going to see genitals regardless. But you know how you're going to see a lot less of them? Floor to ceiling.
Floor to ceiling, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Redo it. Y'all got budgets to add lights and throw advertisements in all these stores that no one wants to buy anyway. Why don't y'all invest in some protection, you know? And not only for trans people, I feel like that would help just there's so much crazy bullshit that happens in restrooms that is very unsafe for humans.
Yeah.
Let's reduce it. Let us be mindful, you know, and why you got a 2-foot shaft at the end of every bathroom stall?
Girl, it's just literally a 2x4 now. Like, I feel like they get shorter and shorter. It's kind of crazy.
Yes. And I'm just like, what is this for?
Yeah.
You could have a lock that says occupied, vacant, you know?
Yeah.
If someone passed out in there, you can call the fire department.
You know, one time, and I want to advocate for these too, because I was flying to Amsterdam. Ooh. No, I was flying to the UK, but I had a layover in Amsterdam. And I ended up missing my connection. So my layover became, instead of like an hour, it became like 5 hours. Ooh. So I'm sitting in the Delta Lounge. You know, I pop on the grinder.
Come on, little Delta Lounge.
Pop on the grinder at Amsterdam Airport. And I'm like, let's see who's here. And this dude hits me up. Hot dude. And he's like, hey, want to hook up? I was like, I've never hooked up in an airport before. I was like, where are we going to go? He's like, oh, we can go to this bathroom here at the end of the terminal. I was like,
the end of the terminal is crazy.
I know.
Why didn't you know that?
Right. So you've done this before.
Baby, this is routine. Are you even flying? Sir, can I see your ticket?
He's like, I'm just here for the restaurant. Okay. So I was like, okay. So I go. And in this bathroom in Amsterdam, it's floor to ceiling things, like private booths.
Yeah.
So he goes into the second one and he's like, come in like 1 second after me. So I go in and, you know, we do a little
nasty. Yes.
The deed is done. And then, but we had in there for about 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. That's a good session.
It is. So he's like, you know, I'm going to leave. And then like, you just follow me like about like, wait about like, you know, 3 or 4 minutes and come out.
Period.
So he goes out. And then I'm like, wait my time. Like 3 minutes later, I open the door. Baby, when I tell you there is a line of people waiting to come into, because the bathroom was full. So
was it? Oh.
So we were, because there were only 2 stalls and we were in one for 15 minutes and there was a line of dudes trying to come into the bathroom to use the stalls. So when I get out, people are looking at me and like one guy is shaking his head. I'm like, they're going to call the police on me. They're going to call the police on me. So bitch, I run back to the Delta Lounge. I am scared. I'm like, I'm going to get arrested in Amsterdam for indecent public, whatever.
And you don't want to get arrested in another country.
Girl,
it's no joke.
I was like, I don't want to be no other country arrested.
It's no joke.
So I run back to the lounge and I am in like the backmost corner with like my thing. I'm like, Lord Jesus, please don't let them see me. Please don't let them come arrest me. And I didn't get arrested. I was very nervous about being arrested.
Oh my gosh.
But I will say, floor to ceiling booze, if we didn't have that, I would not have had that lovely experience in Amsterdam.
You know, you wouldn't have been able to just...
With this dude and his really lovely uncut. Was it fabulous?
Was it gorgeous?
Gorgeous.
Was it like a dub? Because I feel like Amsterdam was like, you know, like the white.
It was.
It's very white. It's
they all walk around with cornrows and dreadlocks on bicycles.
They do, but they also got the double digits where it counts too. And I'm like, okay.
Yes, it was good.
But can you hoop?
It was good.
But can you hoop? But can you hoop? That's my question. But can you hoop?
So also, and I have to talk to you about like the modeling gig. I saw the video posted too about modeling and being, a trans woman modeling. Do you feel like this is the glass ceiling that you're gonna share? I mean, there are. What's her name? She just got like
Alex Consani.
Alex Consani. And like cheers to her, yes. Breaking barriers. Like, how do we push the needle forward? Like, how do we like blow the roof off this?
Well, I think one way to push something is to be there, be visible, and kind of apply pressure. Mm-hmm. Don't burn it. Don't create problems. Mm-hmm. I'm wanting to create a more collaborative environment. I'm not trying to be like, I'm not getting what I want out of this yet. It's been too long. It's been a whole year and a half, 2 years, and I want to be yada, yada, yada. You know, there's ways to go about it, but I feel like I would love to see the change start with me, but also just trickle. And I feel like we are really entering a trans era. The world is so aware of us now. Yeah. To a point that, like, historically, I don't think, maybe like in ancient Greece or something, but we have never been so publicly perceived and thought about and talked about and just our existence. Like, so we're entering this era. It's like 2012 for the gays all over again. Yeah. In a way. But I just think that like the opportunities are trickling, and I feel like we're on the verge of just like, it's like a dam, but like with a really weak wall. Yeah. It's like, and you just got to keep applying pressure and be like, I'm not going anywhere. So what are you going to do about it? Yeah. Because I'm going to keep looking better. Mm-hmm. I'm invested. Like the trans girlies that be modeling too, like, girl. Bitch. You could be 40 or 14 and you would still turn it because it's one of those things like we want it. Yeah. We want it. We live our life and dedicate to take it seriously, to be a part of the story. We want to help tell that story of fashion. So we'll see. I mean, but here's the thing though. Like, again, I'm obsessed with your page. Like looking at like your, what do you call them? The model cards, whatever. Oh, the little, oh my God, not me short circuiting. But like, like your stats and shit on it. Yes. And it's just, I'm like, you can put that up against any, like why not give you and other trans women who are sickening and flawless access into these spaces? Like, what is I guess I just don't even understand, especially in fashion, which is so queer anyway. So queer. Like, what is the issue? You know what I mean? It's a weird thing where it's like, I know this sounds so like, girl, how the fuck is this possible? But it's one of those things where I just do not think, and I will never jump on somebody about their ignorance or lack of awareness, because I don't know how and what takes people to get where they're going, but it's a lack of awareness. Even though these people are gay or queer, or even though they do what they do, they truly do not know and aren't aware of some of our existence. Because I feel like a lot of the time, like, people might follow me and people might post about me or whatever, but like half the time that I am able to secure an amazing connection fashion-wise, it's like when I meet them and then they almost like, I don't know, like I feel like a lot of people, with me specifically, but I'm assuming maybe with a lot of the other dolls, is that they like tell themselves that we don't like exist. Like we don't actually walk through life the way that we present. Interesting. So when they see me, like, whoa, like it's like a fucking light bulb moment. Like I've had a few people like, they were like, we like kind of just assumed you were like AI and we like took a gamble on inviting you. What? Like we wanted to see you, we love you, but like we weren't sure what it was gonna give in person. They're like, but you like you're here, and I'm like, well, yes, like, which is almost like a backhand compliment. Like, I guess I look so perfect online. Like it's just unbelievable. I guess it's unbelievable. Do you follow Denisha Carter on TikTok? Yes. Like for the longest while, I was like, oh, this is an AI. But she also like, I don't know. I feel like she leans into giving AI. She was like, her videos will always be here, and she would like just talk in a way like square to camera, and she's like, and if you think, and I was like, so she did lean in for a while, but then she started doing lives, and I was like, Right.
Oh.
And on live, she's a lot more like human.
Yeah, way more human.
I'm like, okay, now I see. Because, like we love content, but I'm like, some of those, I'm like, girl, it looked like you were just sitting there like rehearsing this talking point for a week before you delivered it. Because it's just so like, let me talk to you about the correction of social justice in America.
It's very
America is like America, you need to get your together during the legislation of yada 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 -85 on
like
August 15th.
So,
I'm like,
how? She has to be using captions. Like, there's no way. She has to use a thing with captions.
I believe that, because I believe Black people can do anything.
This is true.
Hello, power to us. But I feel like she is someone who, I'm sure she went to college, and I feel like she literally like hyper focuses on a topic and like lets every thought run about it. And then because she's so saturated in it, when she goes to talk about it, she's like, I know this point, I know that point, I know this point, I know that point. Here's my opinion, but this is why my opinion is correct. Yeah. And she just like, she sets herself up to succeed. My brain doesn't work like that. I think I've done so many psychedelics. I just can't. I forget things. People who listen to myself, I forget. I am the worst. Really? Oh, girl, I am the worst. I feel like you're very mindful. No, I'm not demure. You're not demure? Well, we haven't had enough interactions. But mine, you're always very like, I feel like you're one of those queens. I'm like, you woke up with a mission, you put yourself together, and you're here. You're present. Think so? Well, I appreciate I give that. Thank you, because I don't feel like that at all. Ask anyone, Patty, anyone on my team, they're like, no, she don't. TikTok. Oh, yeah, that's what I say. Think about TikTok. Bitch, you turned heads. People were on the floor. It's in my favorite videos. Oh, no. When Kerri, you do the thing and you reveal that gun, it is my favorite video. I love it because, speaking about what we were talking about before, I think people just prescribe to trans women that they should be meek and sad and be afraid for lies. But you're like, no, bitch, I am a person living this world. I'm not going to live in a way to give that. Like, I'm going to give strong and powerful. So I think that was the most shocking thing. People were like, oh, wow. She's being so bold. She's about it. She's about it. I will say I give all that to Medea. Medea taught me a lot. There was a play. Was it The Diary of a Mad Black Woman play? Black Woman. Mm-hmm. Where she talks about holding your peace and let the Lord fight your battles. And then she pulls out a gun. Uh-huh. Like she repeats it like, very Medea fashion. She repeats it about 5 times so you get it. And then she just pulls the gun and go. And she's like, peace be still. Peace be still. Uh-huh. And, I was like, and I'm from Texas, so when I realized and I start seeing the news and stuff, I'm like, oh no. Like I was debating posting that video for a while. I saw a amazing hijabi lady post it and I was like, well, I have my license. I'm doing my thing. I have a gun. Like I'm protected if you come into my house. Yeah. But I was like, should I let people know? And at first I was like, maybe not. And then I was like, actually, absolutely. Because and you can see in the comments, like people really are running buck wild. So I think sometimes they need a reminder, like, run up if you want to. But just know, if you're running, I'm also a track star. We can run together. Yes. We can run laps. And so it was fun because I feel like it was interesting to just kind of like drop it. And at first, like, girl, it's not going to do nothing. No one's going to care about it. And then just more and more and more. And I'm like, well, yes. Yes. The doll is protected. And I think more women, especially in like, the open carry states specifically and like the very like, I feel like high risk areas for a lot of brown trans women. I'm sorry. I'm going to just say, I think that you should have some sort of piece of protection. Sometimes mace is not enough. It's not enough. Sometimes a taser is not enough. And like, how long does a marginalized group of people, how long do they go before you start protecting yourself and like making sure that you're safe? Like, how many times are we gonna spit the statistic that Black trans women are being murdered and killed? The number keeps rising at a grosser rate. Then like how long do we say that until we expect Black trans women to
take care of themselves.
I want
and
to
arm
see the
themselves.
headline of Black trans woman shoots attacker in the face, and she's facing some charges, but she gets a good lawyer and she gets out of it because it was self-defense. That's what I want to see.
Like, how long? You know what I mean?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's really sad that we're here. But we can't really change anything about that. But what we can change is, I identify as a lot of things. Okay, but a doormat is not one of them.
Amen.
Okay,
Amen.
so
peace be still.
Okay, peace.
The thing else I want to identify, this is something that I love that because I have gone into several fights with friends and people about this, is side awareness. Now, for the longest time, until my most recent relationship, my current relationship, I 100% identified as a side. And I love that you had that conversation. You said it because people try to be like, no, that's not a thing. Unless this penetration is not sex. I'm like, do you know I've said my number. I am in close to probably four digits of people, and 90% of those were side activities. Like there was literally no penetration.
Well, girl, you got to keep the hole intact.
Yeah, I can't be letting everything slide up in the bitch. I'll swallow up this couch if I'm just letting nobody up in there.
Just because. Find out when you get to hit it.
Hello.
I feel like when people start to try to come for side activities, I'm like, so what you're saying is everyone you meet that you're sexually attracted to, you just let them run a train on you? Like, is that the alternative?
It's not.
Because for me, my thing is, my sideness is like, I don't want to be a celibate girly, but for me, it's asset protection. Me being a side is asset protection. Fully, And I think the term is demisexual, where you're attracted to people based on like the human experience and connection. Mm-hmm. And from that connection, it can get sexual or maybe it doesn't. Mm-hmm. I think that there's a little bit of that with my side activities because for me, we'll just say it, anal sex is intimate.
Girl, and it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
And I ain't doing that work for somebody that I'm not really like that.
And I was going to say for free because, what the girl, all work deserves to be paid. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. And it's work.
It is.
Topping is work and bottoming is work. It's work. And I've always been the type that like when I have engaged in these activities, I always feel like something has been taken from me. And then I oftentimes don't feel like I got anything back for myself.
Got you.
So for me, I'm like, okay, well, I could be open to the idea of more in a sexual experience, but it's earned.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Why the you want to be all up in me? Or you want me to be all up in you? Like, let's break that down. Where are you coming from? And I think for me, my boundary and keeping things sidey is like, I'm not a total square. I love just like the rest of us. Yeah, I love the human body just like the rest of us. Yeah. So, there's so many things you can do without putting something inside your body.
And I'm like, on all of y'all who only believe that sex is penetration, I'm like, what are you missing out on? I'm like, there is a whole world of foreplay and side and other things that is really good and really sexual and could be a lot of fun. And you're denying yourself because you think sex is only penetration. I
want to go to a therapy appointment with a lot of the people who like to argue with me about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, I've gotten to it because people have tried to get in like usually it was like friends, kind of like old friends at this point, but they would try to get in arguments with me about the whole side thing. And I'd be like, there's a lot here. And what I'm hearing is that like none of it really has anything to do with me. Yeah. But my decision to be aware of myself is giving you something because, that's not your story.
Yeah, which is fine. But that might be your
whatever
story,
girl. But like, you better know what book you writing. You're going to tell a story regardless. You might as well be aware of the book, the genre, how many chapters. Are there multiple books? Is it a trilogy?
Is this a series? What are we doing?
Because it's giving series, but I don't think we've been casted for one episode. There are a lot of people that I'm like, this is a whole series, but not one episode has landed. It's just a long pilot. It's a long pilot.
Kerri is in here dropping gems, okay? I love it. Love it. Kerri, this has been such a great conversation. I am obsessed with you even more now that we have had this time together.
Yes.
But before we go, tell people like how they can support, come see you. Like what's the tea?
Baby, all I can say is get ready because the doll is, it took me a while to find myself. What was that Nicki video? I took some time to come back to myself. Mm-hmm. And now it's game time, bitches. Game time, bitches. So, like, you know, if you keep up with me on socials, thank you. Yes. I appreciate the support. We need it. Like I said in my modeling video, it's a call to action. If you like the dolls, if you like what we're doing, you got to be active about it. You got to be invested because we're invested with what we're doing and with y'all.
Yeah.
But stay in touch. Stay in touch with me on socials. We have I'm actually curious to see it, but we have like Slaycation coming out soon with World of Wonder.
Yes.
I'm interested to see me do reality TV.
Yeah.
It was so quick and we haven't really seen any like.
It looks good though. Good
minutes.
cast.
Yeah, and the camera, that's what I was peeping because you know me, my OCD. I was peeping the cameras and I was like, nah. Now wait a minute. Y'all got these 7 cameramen. And it was just giving like, I don't even know, like almost like a higher level of film quality than they really be putting into like reality in America. Yes, I was looking back, like the backgrounds were blurred, the skin was soft, HD, looking like candlelit. I was like, okay, now I need to see this.
I can get into it.
I need to see it. I'll watch it first. We watch it together. I watch it, and if I like it, I'll tell y'all, and then y'all watch it.
Well, look out for Slaycation, and Kerri, I just love you. But y'all, thank y'all for joining this episode of Monét Talks with the incredible Kerri Colby. We're gonna jump right to Patreon really quick to do our Talk to Me section where y'all ask Kerri some questions, and we have a few of them we're gonna answer on camera. So until next time, bye y'all.
Monét Talks.